So I vowed never to buy Marvel Legends again. I love them, I do. I have look, I have an entire shelf of the Endgame figures. But I said to myself, once that was done, I was out of the game. And then What If came out, I bought the wave of What If figures. I bought them, see? I didn't get Captain America Zombie and I didn't get the Hydra Stomper. Having briefly looked at them in box, I think I want the other two now. But for now, we're just gonna have a look at the ones I have. They're all the figures I have. You can see them there. Now, obviously, Sylvie is not from What If. So to get her out of the way, I'm gonna get her out of the way. I'm gonna unbox her. It was a joke. See, I'm not an inbox collector, but I still feel terrible. I feel terrible whenever I, So as you can see, you can't. It's an action figure, as you can see very clearly here. It's got, oh, is this cape removable? Oh, cool. I feel like that's more the look you want for Sylvie. Oh, that's a great range of elbow articulation, actually, to be honest. She can look at a bad guy and go, oh, oh. You're looking for a cruising and also bruising. A cool figure. I think it's got a good likeness for Lady Loki. That's definitely a good photoreal head. And one of the few photoreal heads because the rest are from animated. That's right, they're from animated. And great art detail on the suit as well, as you can see there. You got some cool stuff. Not much going on in the trouser region. Much like myself. There's certainly boots. Good laces. Good figure. I was intending to do a cool, smooth, slick transition, but I forgot to show off the knife. There's the knife. That's everything about Lady Loki. Now, let's look at another figure. Staying in the magical realm, it's Dick. I said Dick. This is another great figure, and the first of the animated figures. You can see the likeness is, it's a little bit more cartoonish, but it's definitely a Cumberbatch. You can get a good look at that. Oh, he's a broody boy. He can't deal with the fact that the love of his life is dead. Ooh, I'm so grumpy. This Doctor Strange obviously bears a lot more of a resemblance to the comic book counterpart with that emblem on the chest, but obviously the colours are very unique for this What If interpretation. I think the lower piece, possibly even the legs, are reused from the movie Doctor Strange figure, but everything up here, these arms, these hands, maybe also reused. They look a little bit big for the scale of the figure, but pretty dang cool. But he's not without an accessory. Oh shit, I missed. It's a cape. This cloak is pretty dang cool. It's, again, a unique piece for this animated Doctor Strange. There's a great amount of, flowing texture detail. It's actually a nice soft plastic, which is unusual for Marvel Legends. Sometimes they give you a big old traffic cone to wrap around your figure, and that's never fun. Whereas this, I feel like, is actually going to be very kind on posing. It's alright. It's, maybe it just needs to be a bit more worn since being out of the packet, but it is kind of staying in a very flown out position, but it is nice and dynamic. I will definitely give the cloak that much. One of the other things the figure also comes with is a time spell, which is weird because it doesn't come with an Eye of Agamotto. I don't know if mine is just missing that, but that's a pretty important element to his character in this episode. But that's your time stone piece. Let me swap that out. There you go. In hand. It looks pretty damn sick. Again, this cloak is very hard to work with. But with a little bit of love, you can get the time stone piece in there. And the good doctor is posed. I think this is a very sick figure. And also, one of the beautiful things about all these What If action figures is just the dynamic colors and very unique colors that they all have. So it's good. It's good. It'll look good on a shelf. With the next figure, maybe. I haven't opened it yet. Let's find out. It's Nebula. Oh. Obviously, the biggest change with this figure compared to the previous releases is that noggin. We've got a nice bit of blonde, cartoonish hair. I love the translation from the show on all of these figures. It's very good. There's a lot of reuse in this figure. I'm pretty sure pretty much everything, apart from the arms and the head, are reuse. There is a new floaty middle piece, which now has a holster, which is a new element for Nebula. One of the unfortunate things that is missing, we've got these nice dark purple on the front. Nothing on the back. Basically completely clean on the back of the figure, which is a little bit unfortunate. But yeah, Nebula is a very clean, simple action figure. And I should probably take a look at one of the few accessories that Nebula comes with. This, which I don't remember. Is this what she has in the episode? Let me have a look at the back of the box. No. See, on the back of the box, she's got the pistol that's appeared in, like, all the Guardians and Avengers movies. So I don't know where this has come from. And they've given her the correct gun before. It's this piece. So I'm unsure why we've gotten whatever this is in this release. Maybe it was in a piece of concept art. I don't know if it's from a previous figure, but while we've got her out here, you have a little bit of a side-by-side with the two figures, and yeah, looking up close, I think the torso may be a new piece. It seems a little bit larger than here, a lot of the figure actually. I think the lower legs are definitely the same piece, and then on the back, you can see that the holster is definitely all new on the new figure, but yeah, I feel like the top piece is definitely new, but the arms, the head, and this middle little section, all brand new on this figure. And while we're doing some comparisons, why not take a look at the Doctor Strange and Doctor Strange? Yeah, I do think that is a reuse for this section and this. The boots, the legs are definitely the same. I feel like the boots are slightly different, but the legs are definitely the same. That lower torso piece is the same. Upper is completely new, as is the arms. There's gauntlets on that new one. But moving on to another new figure, and this one is of T'Challa Star-Lord. Did any of those words come out right? This figure, for me, was the one I was least looking forward to. Despite this episode being my very favorite, there's just something very plain about this figure, and it's a little bit unfortunate, but there's just a lot of grey here. And it's not like it's inaccurate to the story, like the fact that the costume goes grey, 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 brown boots is correct. It's just a little bit boring. Look, it's a little boring. But the sculpting itself is incredible. I mean, look at that damn head sculpt, man. That's ripped straight from the episode. It's just a lot of interesting colors throughout this wave of Marvel Legends. Going on down grey. There's nice little gold details throughout the figure. Obviously, it's again, there's details. You've got what I assume are the jet boosts down the bottom there. Very slender. Obviously, all working in tandem with the art style of this figure. We also get his pistols, both of them. There are two of them. And these just do the usual. As easy as as they always do. So easy. So simple. So simple. These are the same blasters that come with your usual Peter Quill Star-Lord. I think the same mold all the way back in Volume 1 of the film. But this is not the only accessory for this. We also have a very blurry but additional head sculpt there with the helmet on. Oh no, that was nice. That was a nice pop. And there you go, you've got a masked T'Challa Star-Lord, like so. I guess the one thing I would love to know, can you put like a movie Star-Lord head sculpt on this guy? Or those skin tones do not match. But you can do it. It does fit on there. I guess if you have it at just the right angle. There's definitely not a match in tone there, so probably stick with, I mean, I do love this head sculpt, I think is the way I'll go. And our second last figure is, of course, Zombie Hunter Spider-Man, a name that doesn't make any sense. Here he is, in what is basically the Disney Park stoot. I don't think I'm speaking out of turn when I say this is one of the best Spidey suits outside of comic books. This is, like I said, pretty much the suit from Disney Park. I don't know why I grabbed him like that, he didn't say I could. It's just got a great design sense to it. Again, no painted webbing lines. Why? But awesome detail everywhere else. I mean, look at that damn head sculpt. Again, very cool. Obviously, it doesn't look like Tom Holland, but it's not supposed to. It's a good animated Spider-Man head. The one element which might disappoint some people is there's a little bit of wear and tear and grubby feet specifically. Obviously intended to mimic blood. But yeah, he's relatively clean when you're looking at him from afar. But this isn't the only accessory. Obviously, he comes with a cheeky little Spider-Man. Hey, Spidey head sculpt, pretty similar to the MCU Spidey kind of blue and red suit as well. Surely fairly easy to pop on, right, Hasbro? Oh, that was a nice quick snap and a nice. There he is, Spidey head sculpt, which looks great. It's again a very classic. This whole thing is a very classic Spidey look. And I love it. In addition to the big accessory, we're going to have a look at it in a second, he also comes with some good old punchy hands, which of course swap in and out of these boys. But their big extra accessory is, of course, the Cloak of the Levitations, the second one we've gotten in this wave, and again, a very unique mold. There is pretty much no paint apps on this apart from the two little satchel things at the there, everybody. But again, I think it works in favor of the animated look of the whole thing. This doesn't have a peg on the back, so it kind of just awkwardly sits with the dude. I do wish this came with a little Paul Rudd head sculpt. Maybe I'll go and grab mine and show you how that would look, but it's a nice little extra accessory that they didn't have to give us, but I'm glad they did. It's actually not as soft as the other Doctor Strange cloak, so in terms of posing, you're gonna get weird. I mean, it doesn't look the worst, but you won't be able to do too many crazy athletic Spidey poses whilst, you know, like that pose. It was a cool idea, but good luck getting this cape with the Spidey figure nice and posed. Cool figure though. And our final figure of the wave, is of course Captain Peggy Carter. And this is the figure that we've all been waiting for. I know I've said it 100 times, but look at that head sculpt. It is a perfect representation of the character from the series. And again, also credit to the show, a perfect representation of Hayley Atwell. You know who that is just by looking at it. Less so with a Rachel McAdams or a Natalie Portman. They didn't really work, did they? There's a weird thing with the paint apps. It's incredibly shiny on the chest and matte on the arm. So I guess it kind of makes it look more armored than it was in the show. In the show, everything was kind of fabric-y. Whereas here, yeah, there's definitely a different texture quality to the chest, but that's cool. And unlike a lot of figures from this line, this actually has quite a bit of back paint, as it were. Usually you get nothing, but we've got a nice back strap here. Back strap? Shield strap. As well as you can see the Union Jack wraps around the back. The arms have a very kind of Winter Soldier, no, not Winter Soldier, Age of Ultron, none of the words I was saying. Red stripes that wrap around the back on the boots. Not much detail. There's obviously not much weathering through this whole thing, but again, that just mimics the art style of the show, so I can't really complain about that. One thing I can complain about, why is it white in here? What's that about? Why are we going white? Because the shield itself is awesome. Maybe the white, like the real shield, the white ring is the silver ring on the actual one. Maybe that's just the color of metal? Can metal be white? The shield is awesome. Obviously, just a circle disc with great paint apps. You can pop off the hand, but you can also just do it that way. Shield's in. And then you have Agent Peggy Carter. Well, no, it's just Captain Carter. We'll say the sticker of the Union Jack is maybe a little bit misaligned on me, but not enough to really notice. But cool figure. And look, all these figures have been cool, but the real reason we're all here is to build a man. And that man has a lot of parts, as you can see here. The only reason I didn't get the zombie was he didn't actually come with the Build-A-Figure part, so I just kind of went, nah. Oh, where's his noggin? Found his noggin. There we go. Let's build a man. I'm going to assume I can just go straight with the... Or maybe do we slip? Do we need to slip the body through? Look at the little dude! It's one of the hardest builds. Oh my god, he's tall! Look how big he is! I guess it makes sense, but those are some big limbs. It's just ETTO in a bloody bathing suit, mate. On top like that. Oh, this is hard. That was one of the most ruthless Build-A-Figures I've ever dealt with. But he's here, and he's big! Don't mind the feet, because I put them on backwards, but the head sculpt is so friggin' cool. There's so much detail. It's very cool to have ETTO in the collection. There's some incredible detail throughout it, and just a whole lot of like motion in all of these figures. They've really nailed kind of just having not a static pose, even when it is a static pose. Look at the flowing to the cape. There's a little bit of weird paint detail that's, I think, just defects, but I'm kind of cool with that. There's not much kind of weathering to any of these figures, so to have incidental, accidental weathering, I'm not against it. But of course the question is, just how big is he? Standing here, you can see there's some scale to him. But how big is he next to a normal figure? Quite large. So I'm going to start amassing the wave of figures that you've just watched me unbox, and we can just kind of talk about how great this wave is. Sylvie is probably the one letdown figure. It's a spot that could have been taken up by a party Thor or a different figure, but it's fine. I love this wave. I think I'm gonna need the zombie Captain America. I'll think about the Hydra Stomper. If that shows up in a finale or a future episode, maybe, but I just love this set of figures. Spidey is the only one that I don't really need here or want, but I needed this full-size ETTO, the Watcher. And I know I'm not an amazing figure reviewer, but if you enjoyed this and you want more reviews like this, click subscribe maybe you like. Definitely like. I just like action figures. I'm not going to talk about articulation. I just enjoy looking at them and playing with them, and I hope that I brought the same kind of joy that I would have by myself into a video for you guys. But until the next time I look at some really cool action figures, I've been Will. Got no other sign. I just say I've been Will, Josh says I've been Josh, and then we say goodnight, but it doesn't feel right just saying I've been Will. I'm out! Almost forgot. But yes. You can do a Paul Rudd in a cape if you want. You don't have to, but you certainly can.